Might not be able to get this up. Okay, there we go. So, this is gonna be one of the scripted videos that I had. I'm really just referencing the number, because I know all my talking points. I just need to reference the number that I put this in. This list I had done before the previous patch. I had done this before the previous patch that came out yesterday. Now I wanted to come back. When I put up the video yesterday, I said I was going to re-release this video, and I am finally releasing this video. I'm looking right now, because I'm not seeing a way. The season's not up yet. I believe the season starts today, unless I'm going crazy. Today is the 20th. Well, I'm not playing the seasons anyways. I just want to see. So, the top 7 issues that are currently facing Diablo 4. Now, obviously, the order on this list is changed. So, let me start at the bottom with number 7, which is the over-reliance on seasons for new content. Now, this is a common problem in ARPGs with ladder in D2, seasons in D3. I've never really been a ladder or a season player, and the main reason is I'm a roguelike player more than I am an RPG player. I like building a character from 1 to 100. If I had the ability to create a new character, I would probably I have 5 builds in my head right now that I would create for a new character. The problem as to why I don't create a new character in season play has to do with I like being able to have progression. So, as an example, this is a level 50 sorceress right here. I can do 2 birds, 1 stone type. This is a level 50 sorceress right here. If I go into the game with this level 50 sorceress, pretend this character is level 1, and I need to gear them. I could have gear in my stash already waiting. I have Paragon points or skill points already waiting. I have potion capacity already waiting for me that I have unlocked already for this character. That's the only real reason I don't do season or ladder play. Like, I like grinding the character up, but I don't like the process of re-gearing and the loss of all of my resources that I've invested time into. Now, Diablo 4 is like any other Diablo-style game in that you kind of have to... hold on a sec. No, yeah, I don't want that. Critical strike damage. Not a big increase, but it's there. Like, you see how I have those Paragon points that I can just put in. Nothing on this. It's not like I have to immediately grind this character up for no apparent reason. I have a little bit of a resource to get me going on the character. Now, I can come over to my stash over here, and I can pull out gear for this character that the other classes could be using. So it's not just a system of, hey, go ahead and, you know, start from 1 to 0 all over again. You have some options that are available to you. I don't remember which one that one is. But do I have anything here? No. Alright, so the over-reliance on season for new content, like no content coming to the main Eternal Realm, is one of my issues. The second issue, this is problem number 6 we want to talk about, is the stash, the gems, the gold. So let's start with this. This is the first stash tab that you unlock in the game by default. This costs 100k, this costs 200k, this costs 300k. But why is that it? And if you look and see how I have my stash tab divided, gems take up a stash tab, which gems really aren't significant enough to do, particularly because as you level, like the only gems you're really going to use are the 40 and up ones. You're not going to be socketing gear or gems into your gear at a lower level. In addition to that, when you get to a high enough level, when you're at level 50, these two qualities of gems, let me do this actually. These two quality of gems, the 40 gems and then the 20 gems drop so frequently, you'll never pick up the one that's below it. So, gems could use a little bit of a rework as well. If you notice, I don't keep amethysts. I sell amethysts. They are completely worthless to me because of the builds that I play. I don't play damage over time builds, and that's the only redeeming quality that amethysts have. So I'm only hanging on to the other gems. Now, comboing gems is very, very expensive in this game, which is another problem that I have. Gold is your primary resource, okay? The issue with gold is it's used for almost every single thing in the game for seemingly no reason. Gold is the #1 stat that you are using in this game, and to me it just doesn't make sense why it is used for absolutely everything. Where's the jeweler? Jeweler.
Finest jewels in Sanctuary.
Okay. Let's say I want to combo all my shit. I have 91 rubies. I don't even have enough money. I could only combo 18 rubies. I could not combo all of them because of how absurdly expensive it is to combo gems. And there are people that have millions and millions in gold, but you have to look. So you're using gold for comboing gems. You use gold at the occultist for everything you do with the occultist. If you're imprinting gear, if you are destroying legendaries for the aspects, if you are replacing affixes, you're using gear for all of that. Or, yeah, I'm retarded. Blech. You're using gold for all of that. Buying and selling goods, obviously, should be done with gold. But there's other examples that you have to look at when it comes to gold as well. I go to the blacksmith and I repair, that should have gold. I go to the blacksmith and I salvage, that's the only thing that doesn't cost gold. Thank God it doesn't. Imagine if it cost gold to salvage. You want to upgrade an item, you're not just using resources, you're using gold. Everything in this game requires either a gold cost and or a resource cost. That makes it relatively difficult. The gems could easily be put into your tab right here with the rest of your resources. Imagine if it was mandatory that you had to hold all of these resources. See? Imagine they added all this shit. Also, this is an Eternal Realm character. I'm just noticing this. Why is there Malignant Heart material here? Malignant Hearts are not going to be in the season. They're only going to be, or they're not going to be in Eternal Realm. They're only going to be in the season. Why are they here? That's just a slap in the face from the developer saying, fuck you. But play our game on seasonal. The stash could be bigger. Gold could be either easier to acquire or less cost intensive, particularly re-rolling affixes. Let's do that actually. Although I want to demonstrate that. And gems could be in their own tab to free up more stash space. The developers go, well, it's not easy to balance stash space. Yes, it is. Just put in an extra 2 tabs. An extra 2 stash tabs, one at 400k and one at 500k. It's very simple. Either that or you could do another system where you get 1 stash tab for every 10 levels that your character has. Every time you get 10 levels, you get another stash tab unlocked. So you'd have 9 stash tabs unlocked if you hit level 100 on a character. Let's look at re-rolling an affix. What's a piece of gear? Alright, this piece of gear right here. See how I've already re-rolled this piece of gear right here. So first off, it requires Fiend Roses, which are only found during Helltide. Forgotten Souls, which are only found during Helltide or from salvaging some ancestral and sacred gear. The gold cost to re-roll this item was about 100k. Now it's 300k. It's another piece of gear that I have rolled. 274k. That's more reasonable. That's 194k. I really shouldn't be saying it's reasonable, right? And that's kind of the problem that we have with the game as a whole, is it's just getting longer and more tedious to play the game. Now, number 5, I'm going to skip over completely. Number 5 was supposed to be gearing and balance. The gearing and balance for the game is off. Yeah, I'm just going to straight up not talk about that because this last patch has completely fucked that over. That was number 5 on my list of priorities. The only part that I want to talk about when it comes to gearing a character and getting a character properly geared up for your build is that if you look at some classes, Rogue is a great example. Rogue needs 2 legendaries and it's good to go. Druid needs about 5 legendaries for their build to get going. Necromancer, depending on your build, you could need anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 legendaries to get going. Barbarian can vary from 2, like Rogue, like Hammer the Ancient Barbarian needs 2, and then if you look at something like a Brawling Barbarian, that needs like 4. And then if you need a Weapon Mastery Barbarian, which needs 6. Or 7. Berserking needs 7 to 8. Like, the problems that the game has is that the discrepancy between the gearing process for each of the characters is terrible. What's 4? 4 is the difficulty scaling. And then this is the thing this is one of the things I really want to highlight. So, I'm going to jump on to a level 50 character. So, here's they moved the goalpost on us now, which makes things difficult. Difficulty scaling in this game keeps you from power leveling before they nerf that into the ground. Because everything is around your level. You're not seeing exponential growth gains from killing enemies because almost all of the enemies are scaled to your level. And the time it takes to kill certain enemies, particularly certain affixes of enemies or certain types of enemies, is annoying. Chargers, horned beasts, grizzly bears, scorpions, bigger, chunkier enemies, gorgers, are much more annoying to deal with. So now, here's the first issue you have to do on level scaling. Is there a Helltide up? That's why. There is a Helltide up. Good. Okay. So, I have the waypoint unlocked. Okay, good. Let's talk about this now. Alright? This character completed Cathedral of Light at level 49. You come over. You're now level 50. You're in World Tier 3. The level goes from 50 to 53. Okay? At least, that's what you're assuming. It says it goes to level 53, does it not? That says Kiva Shad level 53 plus. Didn't used to say level 53 plus, but now it says level 53. Alright. Why am I talking about this? Why am I being a Yugi Boomer? Or whatever term you want to use. Why am I mentioning this? Okay? 3, my rule of thumb is that 4 levels higher than you is what you can safely farm without dying. Consistently. Depending on your build. I need to find 1 enemy. Just 1 enemy. Everything's now 55. Look at how long it takes me to kill these enemies. But they're level 55. Look at how much health I lost. Because they're level 55. Alright? Helltide right here. Let's go to Wajani. Now, the biggest problem that you had before was if you were level 53, Helltides would be level 55. Helltides didn't scale with the player level, which is supposed to be 2. Now it's 3 levels higher. So Helltides, that should have been 52. Because if I go into a stronghold right now, it's going to be level 52. It's not 53. It's not 55. It's not 58. It's 52. Why? Is because strongholds are maxed 2 levels higher than you. Here, now going into Helltide, Helltides are 2 to 3 levels higher than what your character is supposed to be. Okay, well, my character cleared Cathedral of Light early. My character is now immediately going to be punished if I go and try and grind the endgame content that the developers want me to play. They want me to do Nightmare Dungeons instead. They don't want me to do Helltide, which doesn't make sense. Where's an enemy at? Look at this. Look at this. 58. You'll watch them. Look at how much health I take. Look at how much damage I'm taking. Popped my crowd control immunity, but I still died. Hard crowd control, again being the bang eye existence. Okay, well, you're under leveled, but this is what I'm supposed to do, aren't I? So, I did all that. That took me all of that for 1 pack of enemies. Look at how much time that took me for 1 pack of enemies because of level scaling. Alright, this is what they want you to do for level scaling now. I don't really appreciate that. That, to me, is not fun. That is not a good gameplay design for the game. If I want to challenge myself at a low level, I should. But that to me should be much more rewarding for experience than it actually is, given the difficulty. So, next up you have the repetitive endgame. Let's talk about that. Wait a minute, hold on. What do they want me to do? Okay. Climb that gold. Let's talk about repetitive endgame. This is a common problem that I had. I touched on this a little bit more in the last video. Now, part of this is because they want you to play seasons. But let's discuss something. Alright? Let's boot up a character. And we'll take a look and we'll see. Alright, who's the last character? Who's a low-level character? I'll pick you. Why not? You're gonna be our victim for the day. Otherwise, this is a low-level character that's been underperforming build-wise because of gearing issues. Because the build isn't... The build is fun to play, but it requires a lot of gear, which makes it unfun to play, because it's like anytime I want to upgrade my gear, I need to have the necessary aspect to replace it with. So I essentially, anytime I upgrade gear, I have to have 2 pieces of gear to upgrade 1 piece of gear, which is part of the issue I talked about with gearing when I skipped class balance and gearing, is that certain builds just require too much work to be viable for the average player. I'm not the average player. I'm a hardcore grinder. I don't have a problem with that. But the system that's in place kind of sucks. Alright? So, you want to look at the repetitive endgame. Let's say this character is level 1. Alright? What are you doing at level 1? Let's say this is a new character. I've just beaten the campaign. On my main character. I'm now in Kivashad. I'm level 1. I have skipped the campaign. What am I doing to level this character? Alright, let's explain what your options are for leveling your character. Number 1 is you can work on the Renown. That's Aspect Dungeon farming. That's Stronghold farming. That's Altars of Lilith. That's Waypoints and side quests, right? That's what you have to power grind your character, all right? Now, probably the best way to power grind your character, which is what I ended up doing, was the Tree of Whispers content. Tree of Whispers content is completing these little things that are on the map, okay? Like finding this corpse, killing this dude, slaying a certain number of scorpions in this region, killing 100 enemies, drop the nodes in, you kill bosses, you get 3 favors. Altars, 3 favors for completing all 4 rituals. 1 for a cellar, 5 for an aspect dungeon if you complete it. Ooh, if you can complete it in time, right? So that's the reward. That's the reward. You fill up your favors, you do your 10 favors. When you do your 10 favors, you come back over to the Tree of Whispers. You turn in your cash. You get experience for each of the favors that you complete, for each set of favors. So if I did this right now, if I did this cellar right now, I'd get a small boost of experience that I normally wouldn't get by completing this cellar on its own. I would just get a reward that says, cellar complete. That's all I would get. In addition, when I turn in the favor at the tree and I get to pick my cash, I get a bigger chunk of experience. So, from leveling through 1 to 50, the only ways that you can power farm are Tree of Whispers content and Aspect Dungeon farming. And the world farming. When you hit level 50, what new and exciting content do you unlock to power level? You get Helltides, which is overworld content that is higher level than you, that drops better loot on a timer. You know what that sounds like? Overworld content on a timer that rewards better loot at the end. That sounds an awful lot like Tree of Whispers, doesn't it? And instead of Aspect Dungeons, now I get Nightmare Dungeons. Look at this. Look at all these Nightmare Dungeon sigils. See this? See this? See all these lightning dungeons? See all these dungeons? These Nightmare sigils that I've been saving? Because I don't have all the Aspect Dungeons unlocked. And once I do, I can start using these. Okay? But the reason why now this mechanic sucks is that those are the only 2 things between levels 50 and 99. These are the only 2 things that you have for endgame content to better your build. Are Nightmare Dungeons and Helltide. And when you hit level 100, you get Uber Lilith. And that's all you're getting for endgame content. Nightmare Dungeons are just reused Aspect Dungeons, and Helltide is just reused Tree of Whispers. There's no real reason for me as a player to get excited about hitting level 50 if it isn't for the gear. If I'm not sitting here going, wow, look at all this sacred gear that I could use. Wow, this looks awesome, doesn't it? I'm not sitting here doing that because at the end of the day, I already know. Like, the endgame content is the same thing I was doing before with a slightly different twist. That's why people say the repetitive is endgame. There's not anything truly unique in endgame besides Uber Lilith. I wish there were more Uber type bosses. I wish there were more boss encounters. I wish they had a throwback mechanic where you could have a nightmare sigil. Like, the boss fights in this game are really well designed. You could have a type of sigil that you could craft, or that you could unlock, or that could drop, right? That the way it works is it spawns a boss from a previous Diablo game at the end of the dungeon. It rewards some type of gear or cosmetic from a previous Diablo game. Right? You could have something like, for the druid, you could have the witch doctor's terrifying aspect, where it gives you a mask for the druid that looks like an old witch doctor mask from Diablo 3. You could have the Amazon's Descent, right, for rogue, where it changes your bow into an Amazon bow from Diablo 2, but you have to beat a Diablo 2 boss to get it. You have to beat Duriel. You have to beat Andariel. Not the version that they have in this game, by the way. The version that's in that game. That type of challenge, it could be like an Uber Lilith type challenge, but rewarded something unique and gave you something to tie previous Diablos in, because this is the first Diablo game in the franchise where you don't kill Diablo. So yeah, I'm a little bit peeved at it. Number 2 is the early game grind and the campaign grind. So let's start. First off, you start down over here, alright? You travel, you follow this path, you start in a cave over here, you follow this path, you get to Nevesk, okay? You go up, you clear this dungeon, you come back to Nevesk. It's very linear, by the way, at this point. You go from Nevesk, you go over here, you go to, what's his name, Lorath's house over here. Lorath takes you up to Kivashad, you buy his weapon, you send Lorath on his way. That's how it works. Once you send Lorath on his way, the game now opens up. What do you have to do? You have the campaign that you can do, which is going to send you all around the world. And you need to follow. You have these little side quests that you can do. Okay? The game wants you to do. The game's pushing you to do. Which are fine. They're good distractions, but that's what they are. And you want to open up the map. Right? You want to open up the map. Here's the problem with that system. If you don't beat the campaign, the game doesn't tell you. If you don't beat the campaign, you're kind of fucked. So let's explain the problem that I have with the campaign. The campaign is long and boring. Act 1 works like this. You're supposed to come here to Yelzna. Then you go to the mine. Then you go to the dungeon. You have a boss fight. You go get a blessing. The princess you're looking for is in another castle. You go get the blessing. Princess you're looking for is in another castle. You do the grinds to get to the blessing. Somewhere over here, right? Oh, I'm not giving you the blessing. You go back. Oh, well, he didn't kill you. So here's your blessing. You could give me the blessing in the first place. You go back. You clear the dungeon. Character needlessly dies for no reason. Except to make you feel sad. And put some weight and gravity to the decisions that they made. And that's it. That's Act 1. And then Act 2. You go up north. You go up north and... Oh, you meet this dude and you meet his son. Ominous foreshadowing is ominous. Everything is peaceful. Then you go and his manor's under attack. So you defend his manor. Then he sends you out to the Blood Veil. Over here. And you're supposed to go and find this dude. And you have a boss fight with a half-formed demon dog. And then you kill the dude. Because he's dying. Because he did something stupid. And then you go over here. And you're grinding up to this druid. And this druid is one of the first hard boss fights of the game. The druid on the mountain. Because she's where you start to test if your build is good or not. Because she's a hard crowd control character. And hard crowd control sucks. Right? So, you fight Druid on the mountain, you kill her because she went evil for no apparent reason. Like, for the most stupid reason. You kill her. So then you come back to report to Dawnon. Like, hey, I had to kill both of these Druids that were your buddies because they're evil now. And, oh wait, the village is under attack. And, oh no, Dawnon's son is missing. I wonder what could possibly happen to him. I'm sure he's perfectly fine. Oh, what's that? Saragar is under attack by the five-headed Chihuahua because the bitch made a deal. Oh no, I killed him, and Dawnon's son is dead. For no reason than to make you feel sad and feel the weight and gravity of the world. Well, now it's time to go on to Act 3. No time to feel sorry, so we go to Khadbardo and we find Lorath being a drunk, and we go to this dungeon and we clear this dungeon, and it's, oh, Elias is here, that's not good. And we go over here and we have the first really interesting boss fight, which is in Act 3, and it's a double boss fight, and it's actually kind of fun. And then after we do that, it's like, okay, so what we need to do now is we need to make an assault. So then we have the whole Goleen, where is it here? The whole Guthalron, we clear Guthalron, we free this person, blah, 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 blah. A little bit of grindy shit. We're going back, we need to get the blessing of the prime evils, which seems really stupid in order to do this. Anyways, we free Thaisa. We have a stupid boss fight with Braum, who's an annoying boss to fate. He's a wannabe butcher main. Okay. Act 3 is actually kind of fun. I liked Act 3. That one boss fight that you have over here is really fun in my opinion. I did like it. I didn't like the rest of it, right? So I've cleared 3 tedious acts with one good boss fight, where the way they work is fetch quest, kill a bunch of people for no reason, discover that we're 5 minutes too late literally everywhere. Then you go to Act 4. Act 4 wants you to come down here to Terrasenk. Find a guide, go through the desert, storm Elias's palace. You meet an old character from D2. He gets unceremoniously killed off at the end of the act because we want you to feel the weight and the gravity of the situation. You meet in your little stronghold right here in the desert. It's like, yeah, stronghold! We're gonna get the band back together! We're gonna fight Diablo! And then Andariel spawns outside and you have to kill her. Because, like, Elias tricked you. It's like, ha ha! I will summon Andariel! You can't kill her! Then you kill her. And it's like, oh, okay. Then you get your horse. You've had to walk this entire time around Fractured, around Sloth's-Glen, around Khadbardo. Side rant, if you're here, by the way. So, the developers have talked about the PvP area is optional content. I want to stop right now. The PvP area is not optional content in the beginning of the game when you do not have your horse and you are level gated from entering certain regions, okay? Because if you look over here in Kivashad, this is Margrave. If you travel south from Margrave, you get into Hazard. This area is level scaled to your level. This area is level 36. This area will be level 36 the entire time you play the game until you get above level 36. Same thing. Kazakhstan. I call it Kazakhstan. Anything that is not Chaldeum and the Terrasenk area. These are the only 2 areas of Kazakhstan you're going to be exploring for the campaign. These are the only 2 areas of the game that are not level gated behind the level 45 gate. This region, right here, level 45. This region, right here, level 45. This region, right here, level 45. I don't remember if Denchar is 45 or not. If it's 45 or if it scales to you. I think it's 45, though. The only areas of the game that are not level gated here are these 2. Everything over here is level gated past 36. 36 and up. Why is that a problem? Let me explain something to you. You go Khadbardo, If I am trying to go around this area, it is not at all clear to me that I can go around to Gironde and Terrasync. The natural progression of the game is going to take me from Ked Bardo, across this pathway here, from the Abbot's Monastery, across this way. The markers on the map, if I were right here and I triggered the marker to get to Gironde, it's not going to have me cut through here and south. It's going to cut me through the PvP area, okay? The PvP area, in my opinion, should have a pacifist mode unlocked until you beat the campaign, or should be level gated to your region. What do I mean by that? You cannot go blood marked in the PvP area if you're on World Tier 1 or 2, if your character is level 50 plus. You should not be able to blood mark in a PvP area in World Tier 3 if you're level 70 plus. Because I can't tell you how many times I have gone to the PvP area when I was playing the campaign. There would be a group of people sitting here waiting outside the entrance to kill new players, or waiting at the exit to kill players. You don't have your horse at this point of the game yet, so you can't ride through. Because that's the common complaint that I hear is, oh, you just need to ride, you ride your horse past enemies like that in Bloodmart area. If you die, it's on you. Here's the thing. If you're level 20, 25, and there is a group of level 50 pluses waiting outside the PvP area to kill you, what am I supposed to do to play the game, to progress the game? Get stronger? That's your advice? Don't progress the campaign. Go farm and get stronger. So that I can clear an optional area. I get you saying Denjar is an optional area, right? Denjar is completely optional. There's 3 altars of Lilith. And the idea of like, oh, if you want the altars of Lilith, there's a risk you have to take. Although it is very unfun, like, when I was power grinding levels, I wanted to do Seething Abominations, because Seething Abominations are fun to kill, but I don't like people wandering into the PvP area, sitting in the back, not blood marked, not contributing, letting me kill the Seething Abomination, and as soon as I kill it, they go blood marked and kill me while I'm weak. Like, all my shit's on cooldown. I'm low on healing potions. Just wipe me, get my seeds, go do an altar, and they're out. That's a very annoying mechanic, right? Obviously, it's there. It's part of the game. You can't take that out. That's well within their right. Here's my problem, though. I'm fine with that. That's my fault. I'm playing the optional content. That's me. But if I want to travel through Alzuda to get to this city right here, why is there not a pacifist mode? Or, why is there not a pacifist mode while you're on horse? Like, hey, if you're on horse, you can't be attacked by other players. That could be cheesed, obviously. Like, anytime you pick up Seeds of Hatred, that feature gets disabled. That would be my thing. Or that you can't pick up Seeds of Hatred while you're on your horse. If you're carrying Seeds of Hatred, you can't be on your horse. Something like that. Strictly, if I want to cross through a PvP area, I should not be punished for that. I should not be punished as a new low-level player for attempting to complete your campaign that is necessary for getting my horse, for moving the story forward. I am forced to travel through this area. Yes, I can go around, but the game markers don't explain that. So unless I'm randomly walking around this environment for no reason, I'm not going to know I can come over to here to Gironde until after I've made that mistake. And to be clear, this is not an isolated issue. Everyone that I have played with has died their first time attempting to cross through Alzuda to complete the campaign. I'm not exaggerating on this. They have always died to a character that is at least 20 levels higher than them. When they were not blood marked, the other player was blood marked and just looking to farm them. That to me is a problem with the early game, by the way, because I need to get down to here. Now I know from playing the game, like once I beat the campaign and the map opens up, I know okay, if I want to get to this part of the map, what I do is simple. I spawn in Zarbinzet, I pop on my horse, and I travel up over here. And I completely ignore that. You kind of can't do that, though, if you're playing the campaign. Because you don't have your horse yet. And this area is not unlocked yet. And you're level gated in this area. Great job, game. Great job. Anyway, so once you have your horse, here's the problem. After all that long grinding that I've done, I no longer want to get off my horse. So let's explain what happens. You go for Acts 5 and 6 and 7. You get off your horse, you go to Zarbinzet. You travel over here, you do some shit over here. You travel over here, you do some shit over here. You travel up and you do the Tree of Whispers, which is really fucking long and tedious. And you're on your horse if you're not actively in combat the entire time. Then you have to go discover Elias's immortality. You have to end that. Then you go and fight Elias, and you kill him. And it's like, yay, we have the Soul Stone fixed. It's long, it's tedious, there's nothing memorable here outside of Elias's fight, and the really annoying Tree of Whispers content. Nobody randomly dies, but Donnan is wallowing in self-pity, and Neyrella gets her arm chopped off. Because she's stupid. Like, she acts very dumb. She goes from being a smart but naive character up until this point to just stupid. Right? And then we go back to Terrasank, and oh, we're sad, everybody's sad. And now they're marching on Caldeum, and we have the march to Caldeum, which is stupid, because I don't want to work with these people. I want to kill these people. Hey, look! Here's the Soul Stone! Oh, he seals the Soul Stone. Because you showed him. Good job. Then you go into hell, right? Alright, so I've gone into hell. Let's explain some things. You go into hell, and now you're in this gauntlet grind. They're going to throw elites out the ass. They're going to throw world bosses at the ass. You're going to get trapped in your own mind. You're going to have mini boss fights up the ass. It's just fighting non-stop. Tedious fighting non-stop, too. Until you get to Lilith. Now, let's explain shit on the way. I don't get to kill Reverend Mother Prava. I don't get to kill Anaris because they're dicks and I wanted to fight them. Nope, you don't get to do that. It happens in a cutscene. I don't get to do anything of value. Right? Mephisto's been talking to me this whole time. There's no make your choice anywhere in the game when you're working with Mephisto where you can go just do what Mephisto wants. You can't take Mephisto's option. So what ends up happening? We go to hell. Neyrella says, hey, you realize Mephisto's the real evil here. You can kill Lilith. You've killed a lot of people. You can kill Lilith, but I'm going to take Mephisto and put him in the Soul Stone. Like, okay, random stranger that I met, like, I don't know how many days ago. Couldn't be more than 2 or 3 days ago. Yes, great idea. Let you take one of the Lords of Hell in a Soul Stone. That's never gone wrong before. I can't ever think of a time in a Diablo game when a random person having a fucking Soul Stone was a bad idea game. Good job. Good job. You go ahead and do that. No option to disagree with that and just put Lilith in the Soul Stone in case we need it for later. Fight Lilith. Lilith's a fun boss fight. Kind of like it. Right? Then what happens? The game's over, right? Oh, Donnan's dead. Because of stupid things and dies off screen. Okay, well, let's go bury him and lay him to rest. Oh, Yusuf, the guy that saved you at the beginning of the game and sent you on your quest in the first place to go find Lorath and your allies. Oh, he comes to kill you now. So you kill him. For no reason, really. Like, why? Why was that a thing? And then, oh, well, you need to go back and find Neyrella in the Horadric. Oh. Oh, she left a letter in secret code. Oh, this can't be good. It's like, you think Mephisto wanted to be in the Soul Stone, right? Right? And then you go to Firebreak Manor and you lay Dawn to rest. And, oh, Neyrella took the Soul Stone and ran. And we don't know to where. Obvious sequel baiting is obvious. It's very long and grindy and contrived and stupid. It takes forever to get the horse, and as soon as you get it, you don't want to come off your horse. And then you have the option to skip the campaign on everybody, and you do it because there's literally no reason to play the campaign unless you're helping somebody get through the campaign so that they can skip the campaign on all their characters. Yes, I don't like the campaign. It sucks. If you think that the campaign is the driving point behind this game, it's not. It's the worst part of the game, story-wise. Number one, the number one issue I have with this game. We've been waiting for this. Quality of life. Wardrobe. I've limited a number of character slots. You see how there's this ensembles category right here. They want me to have different ensembles to change my gear. If I'm not changing my build, why would I need to change my gear? Okay? I don't care about playing dress up. You can change your appearance after the fact, but you can't change your character's name. You get these headstones that you pay money to discover. You can't unlock these in-game. These only appear when you die. That makes no sense. Okay? Quality of life changes. When I complete an aspect dungeon, okay, what happens is this Codex of Power screen pops up. And it doesn't go away for a solid 10 seconds. I want to port out of the dungeon right away. Now, I can use the leave dungeon feature, which will teleport me directly outside the dungeon, which is a loading screen. But I then have to go into another loading screen after that in order to port to a main city, like Kivashad, in order to break down my loot. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? Why can I not just... Like, yes, I know what I unlocked from the Codex of Power. Why do you think I did it? I don't need to see it for 10 fucking seconds on my screen when I want to leave. I want to leave a dungeon. On the map, if multiple players place a pin on the map, if I place a pin on the map here, and somebody places a pin on the map, say, here, my marker going here is the only one that appears on the screen. I have to open up this map to see the pin that they posted. There's no different color line that comes down here. Right? The social feature. In order to add a friend, you need their battle tag. If you're not on PC, you don't know their battle tag, you only know their PSN tag, you can't input that. You have to have an email address or a battle tag to add a friend. Okay. So, you can't invite players directly off of your PSN list or your Xbox list. Local players is not players that are currently in your location. This motherfucker is in Wajani. They're in Ghastly Death. They're in Kedbardu, Merowin, Ancestors Heights, Saragar. Bitch, I'm in Kivashad. It doesn't show me the players that are in Kivashad. It shows me players that are local to my region, to my physical, inhuman behind-the-camera region, which is in Virginia. Meaning that these players, I'm assuming, are in Virginia. The clan. There's no rewards or progress on clan whatsoever. Not to mention, okay, my clan was bigger than this. People left to go find their own clans and do their own clans. The clan is the easiest way to invite people to play in this game unless you have them added as a friend on your list, because you can invite through other means. Can't invite local, can't invite through PSN or Xbox Live. You have to know their battle tag or their email address to add them as a friend. Okay? The clan doesn't allow you to invite players if they already have a clan. If they already have a clan, I can't invite them already. They don't appear if they're in a clan as well. Why is that a feature? Like, oh, they're in a clan, you don't get to invite them. What if I have a friend of mine that I want to invite, but he's in another clan? I have to get with him in a party and tell him, hey, I have a clan set up for you to join. You could do that. There's no way to invite people in a clan that are already in. There's no system in improving the clan whatsoever. There's no rewards for adding new members. There's no rewards for leveling your clan and promoting your clan. There's no clan warfare. There's no bonus for being in a clan other than a tag, right? The shop mechanic is incredibly annoying that I have to sit through this animation anytime I accidentally click on this shop button right here. I have to sit through that 10-second animation anytime I accidentally click on the shop. The gear that is offered here is expensive and not worth it. Right? This Wraith Lord set is 2,800 platinum. That's a $25 skin. This one set of gear is $25. You want this gear right here? It's a horse and some random cosmetic, $10. You have these add-on bundles. This makes no sense. This one right here makes no sense because you get... I have the $90 version. This upgrades me to the $100 version. What do I get for it? Nothing of note. I get this pack for free. It's $10. It's cheaper for me to buy that for $7 than it is to buy that for $10. Right? Other quality of life features. Let's look at the horse. Horse is the biggest issue I have for quality of life features. Like, nothing is optimized. The server lag anytime I go into an area. But look at my walk speed too. There's no sprint button. Alright, so I want to get my horse and ride, right? I'm moving forward. Now I can move forward. Like 10 seconds for my horse to get warmed up. It's not a fucking race car. It's a horse. It goes forward. My equipment tab is nice, but there's no way to filter through gear specifically for what I want other than the sort bag function. Consumables contain whispering keys, incenses, elixirs, and nightmare sigils. Nightmare sigils should have their own tab because you can accumulate a lot of them, in my opinion. Quest items right here have a cap on it because there's a cap to the number of side quests you can have. You can only have 20 side quests. But here's the problem. Some of these side quests are terrible. This requires me to complete an aspect dungeon. This requires me to complete an aspect dungeon. It says it requires you to complete a stronghold. I don't really care about the stronghold aspect. I have to complete an aspect dungeon to do it. This requires me to kill a bunch of shit. That's an easy one to get done. I kill shit. I pick up the stuff. I go drop it off. Simple quest. This, kill a bunch of shit. This, side quest. Or aspect dungeon, I should say. This, aspect dungeon. This, aspect dungeon. This, side quest in the open world. This, side quest in the open world. Aspect dungeon. Aspect dungeon. Aspect dungeon. Open world side quest. Open world side quest. Aspect dungeon. Stronghold. If something drops and you're full, that's like a quest item, like Curious Venom dropping in Hazar, right? Curious Venom drops from random enemies when you kill snake enemies. You bring it over to Timu over here. She should have a waypoint, by the way. That's just a little pet peeve of mine with the amount of quests that she have and the amount of time you have to visit her. She really should have a waypoint right here. Like, one of my pet peeves on Hazar, look at how much room there is here with no real waypoint. Like, Hazar is a relatively close community. This area right here, there's nothing here, so I get there's no waypoint, right? This right here, I guess this kind of counts as being close, so there's no real reason. Look at how much room is here, though. You could have had a thing right here. It would make perfect sense, having a waypoint there. Same thing. I think it's fine over here. I would have liked to have seen a waypoint, you know, like closer up here maybe. But I'm fine with the waypoints nonetheless. If you look over in Dry Steeps, again, like, I guess they're okay. I would have preferred there be a waypoint around here, per se. But I guess there's Onyx Watchtower is right here. So you're supposed to do either Onyx, this one right here, which is the Golrin one, as I call it, and then there's Girondi. There's no waypoint, like, in the middle of some of these places. The waypoints feel a little bit scattered, in my opinion. They don't feel really tight and close together to make traveling easier, which is a pet peeve of mine. This is a pet peeve I have. Where is it? I've completed this dungeon. I know I've completed this dungeon. See how it says that aspect symbol reward on first completion, but I've completed it. Why does it say that? Why doesn't it tell me what it is that I could be receiving as a reward, right? If I put my cursor over this, I haven't completed this on this character, but I completed it on another. How am I supposed to know that? Oh, that little yellow dot tells you it's done. That yellow dot tells you it's done. I completed this dungeon on this character, right? Doesn't say that. I haven't done this dungeon yet, so it tells me what aspect I need to unlock. Good. Yay. Why isn't it like that on other dungeons? I'm confused. Quality of life is the biggest issue that I have with this game. 100%.